Ahava, blessings to all of you, and welcome to this Desert Rose guidance for this week, starting on the 30th until the 5th of November. And we have a lot of activity going on. It's a very special week. I'm just going to talk a little bit about the moon phases connected to the Aramaic technology, and then we're going to go into a beautiful Desert Rose teaching about water and also connecting the water with this beautiful cycle that we are in right now. And so before I start, I just want to thank all of you for being in this community and for your presence, as all that we do together is a co-creation. So we are in right now, on the 30th, we are in the waxing crescent, which is the dakya, right? So on the 30th, we have one more day of dakya, which is the purity. After we go into the new moon, a dark moon, we go into the phase of purity where we're actually carrying the energy of a pure essence, and we can take our thoughts, our actions, and try to make them very, very pure. This is the intention, to bring purity into our life, to bring the innocence, to bring the emptiness. I really like Dakya, and one of the things I always remember when I'm in Dakya, when I go into a cycle, doesn't matter how many times I go into a cycle, and I always say that cycles are prophetic because they reveal a hidden wisdom to us, right? Something is revealed to us. And so every time I go into a cycle, I may have gone into that cycle many times, like right now, we're going into Samhain in the Northern Hemisphere in Beltane, but we enter the cycle naked, empty, not saying, oh, I know this and I know that, this is the cycle. We empty ourselves and we go into the cycle with this beautiful emptiness, this newness, this innocence, so that we can start again to gain the wisdom, experience and embody the wisdom of that cycle, because that is the gift, the innocence, the emptiness, right? Because we have experienced things so many times in our lifetime, right? And we continue the patterns and also the toxic patterns, right? We continue the cycles, but every time we go into a new cycle, it's so beautiful to go in with this innocence, and this is the beauty of Dakya. So on the 31st, which is All Hallows Eve, we go into the first quarter, right? We go into Nidria. So the 31st, we celebrate Samhain in the Northern Hemisphere and Beltane in the Southern Hemisphere. And this is all about power, right? And so we know that Samhain is connected to death and resurrection, and Beltane is connected to life and sexuality. But at the end of the day, when both come together, because within duality and polarity, there is an inherent unity, right? Just as we, the first human created, Adama, was both man and woman, and then we separated, our inherent nature is unity because we come from the one. So when we look at these cycles that are the polarity and duality, it's so beautiful to know that there is a unity, which is the essence of all. So that unity is power. Power through death and power through sexuality, right? Power through this Samhain portal, when the veil is very thinned, we can get the power from our ancestors, right? The power going in the darkness, scaring the ghost, not allowing the ghost to scare us. We say boo to all of our ghosts, right? We scare them off with the commitment, which is excellent because this is the first quarter, right? Nidria, the commitment to really go deep within the shadow, the darkness, and face all of the fears, right? And as we face these fears, these are ghosts, right? The ghosts go away. The ghost becomes scared of our power, right? And so this is what the Samhain energy is about, and also the Scorpio portal that we are in. And then the Beltane is all about what we can create and manifest through our sexual power, right? Through the unity of the masculine and the feminine. That is what Beltane is all about, divine union. So Beltane is a portal of powerful manifestation. And when we look at these two portals of Samhain and Beltane, they are the most powerful portals to bring in manifestation, the most powerful, right? And so I like to observe this portal because I know that we are connecting to the ethers, we are connecting to the abundance of the etheric realm, the infinite abundance of light creation, and then we're connecting to the power of that unity, remembering that Abun is the divine mother and father together in unity to create. We're connecting with that in the Beltane portal to bring in that manifestation, which is light, right? And so this is a portal of power. And as I am in the Northern Hemisphere, I'm celebrating Samhain, so I'm very looking forward to going into that darkness. And then we have on the 1st, All Souls Day, on the 2nd, All Saints Day. So these 3 days are just a very, very powerful moment when the veil is very thin, right? A very, very thin veil. And even if you are on the Southern Hemisphere celebrating Beltane, you still are in the Scorpio season. So Scorpio is about the deep waters of regeneration and death. And so when we go into the Samhain and Beltane portal, let us be very, very, very mindful. Remember that we're actually experiencing the entrance to this portal on the Nidria, the first quarter, where there is always a bit of disruption or challenges on the quarter moons, and there's commitment, right? So we can commit in these portals. We can commit to something very powerful in our lives. If we are in the Samhain portal, and remember, it's about honoring the ancestors. The veil is very thin, going into the darkness, scaring off our ghosts and getting our power. I mean, we just have to look at the trees. The leaves are dying, right now. So this is all about Samhain. This is all about Scorpio death, right? And when we carry something that is heavy, it becomes heavier, right? And as we go into this powerful portal, we are in the Scorpio energy, in this death. Remember that the next cycle that comes is Sagittarius, which is the light of wisdom, the flame of renewal and hope. So this portal is very, very important, because what is heavy we should not take with us anymore. It is time just to set free, to alchemize, to take that energy of the ghost and use that ghost as our power. And so that is a very, very beautiful portal that is happening on the 31st with Samhain and with Beltane. Actually, these two celebrations can bring us into a very powerful upgrade. And as we go into this portal, we are preparing ourselves for the 11-11, right? Which is pure expansion of our vibration. And I'll be talking about that in the next video. And I'm also offering an online 11-11-malcuta infinity portal upgrade activation and practice, which I do every year. I've been doing it since 2012, and it's very, very powerful to understand the teachings of the number 11, the expansion, and what we are expected to create and align with when we go into this portal. So as we go into the Samhain and the Beltane, remember that the essence, the unifying essence is power, right? Power. Our power to become the light with the power of our shadows, and the power of divine union to bring in a conscious manifestation that can sustain itself with grace and light. And so on the 30th, the moon is in Capricorn. On the 31st, we are in Aquarius, so we're entering this portal in Aquarius. And then on the 2nd, the moon goes into Pisces, beautiful watery Pisces. And then on the 4th, we go into Aries, and we go into the waxing gibbous, which is the Hilma state. And Hilma is all about dreams. So on the 4th and in the 5th, we are connecting to dreams, the power of prophecy, the power of vision. So we go into the Hilma phase of the moon. It's really important to take time to visualize, and as it is in this fiery energy of Aries, it's visualize things that we really need to get done, right? Dream and feel ourselves actually completing that task that needs to be done, right? And I do like the heal my phase a lot because I pay a lot of attention to my dreams when I'm in the heal my phase because I know they are prophetic and they're giving me a lot of information. So as we go into that phase, remember the things that will come up that we start to envision, or think of are things that we should be doing with a powerful spark of fire, with the khauvai, with holy desire, maybe in this moment, but at least with a lot of desire. So I wanted to read something from my book, Conversations with Mary Magdalene. And it really has to do with what we are going through in the Scorpio season. And, you know, all of this is happening in the eclipse portals, right? We had the solar eclipse a few days ago on the 25th, and then we're going to have the lunar eclipse. That's going to be really powerful on the 8th. Right? On the 8th of November, on the 8th, 9th, we've got the full moon. So we have this very powerful eclipse energy that just expands everything, right? And as we know, between the solar eclipse on the 25th and the lunar eclipse on the 8th, a lot of energy, galactic energy, is coming into the planet because the electromagnetic field of the planet is open to that. It's so strong, this energy. So we may be receiving activations from different planets and star systems and even dimensions, right? And what this can do, it could go in the light and the shadow and in both. It can trigger us, right? And it's very important when we are in an eclipse season to work the body, right? To do our yoga practice, to do our ritual movement practice, DMT, sacred dance, walking, just working the body, because this is the way the body can contain these energies without being possessed by the energies, right? Because eclipses do this. They expand what we are feeling, right? They make greater and stronger our emotions, our visions, our dreams, right? What we are longing, our sadness, our happiness. So this is very, very important to have into account. So I'm going to read this. Now, what I said before, all the apparent opposites in life are in fact one because they all come from unity, right? And so when we're looking to heal something, lots of times the way to heal this is to look at the polarity. I'm going to use the zodiac signs as an example, right? If I want to heal my Cancer energy, if there's something in my Cancer energy that is in the shadow that's not in balance, I look to the Capricorn, right? Capricorn is the polarity. So the essence inside of Capricorn is, inside of Cancer is the seed of Capricorn as well. And if we look at the North Node and the South Node of humanity in this moment, we've got Scorpio in the South Node and Taurus in the North Node. So it is all about moving away from very corrupt ways of manipulation, control with money, with land, with people, moving away from that and creating a new earth. But when we create a new earth, we can't just say bye to Scorpio. We need to carry the power of Scorpio, right? And this is the beauty of polarity. So I want to read this, and then we're going to talk about it a little bit. Water is the elemental force that unlocks what lies dormant. The elemental force that unlocks what lies dormant. And we are in the deep waters of Scorpio, so we're unlocking something that is dormant. She is one of the three mothers of creation and maintains the balance between air and fire, right? So if we look at the Aramaic letters, Aleph is the air, Shin is the fire, and the Mem has the balance between. Mem is the water. She is the force that unlocks the hidden possibilities of the seed. And on a spiritual level, she represents the force that unlocks our own personal potentials during our soul journey in this incarnation. So she unlocks the hidden possibilities of the seed. The seed needs water to grow, right? The seed needs water to be nurtured, to expand. So if all of our hidden possibilities and hidden potential and infinite creation potential lie within us, and to access that so that we can expand it and bring it into our lives, we need to connect with water. We need to allow that water into our life. We need to dive deep into the water. When water unlocks our deepest potentials, we can free ourselves from the bondage of our mindsets, conditioning, and other obstacles, because water only likes truth, right? And that's where we're going into this watery darkness in Scorpio to find that truth. We are in. We're not going in. We are in. And water must have the vital ingredient of life, hence the immersion in living waters. The recognition of our spiritual reality releases a universal vital force in our lives, symbolized by the image of water that turns into wine. Water that turns into wine, the wedding at Cana, right? And this is when Yeshua turned the water into wine, which actually turned water into royal spiritual water, turned the water into the Holy Spirit, right? And this is what we do when we go into the depths of our water. We cleanse, we activate, we open to allow the Holy Spirit to come in, thus turning the water into wine. It's divine union, it's alchemized. The waters of our body and personality are ennobled. Our waters become royal. Wine, which symbolizes blood, is associated with spirit. To turn the waters into wine is to give the water a presence again, to refill the water, the feminine, with the presence of the Shekhinah, the Holy Spirit. Isn't that beautiful? Turning the water into wine. That's really what we're doing in this beautiful portal that we're journeying in together, turning water into wine. And it's so wonderful to see how deep we can go. The deeper we go, the higher we can fly. The deeper we go, the higher we can ascend. So we're going to chant together the Lord's Aramaic prayer. And I'm going to be putting a little, a link to a body practice that you can do. I have a few on YouTube. And if you would like to do a body practice this week, from the ones that I have on YouTube, or you can just really dive into this prayer. I do it every day, but I've been doing it very slowly and mindfully since we went into this cycle of Scorpio, because it brings me really deep inside, and this prayer has all of the mysteries of the universe encoded within itself. So when we chant, and as we're going into that 1111 portal where the voice carries the vibration and the secrets of the cosmos, of the universe, we really want to go deep and connect with our sound. So let's chant this together. And you can find the words below. And I can just visualize those 6 big barrels or jugs of water. 6, right? Very powerful number that represents the divine feminine, right? Connected to Mother Mary. And then turning that water into the wine, bringing our creation, our depth, what we're doing now, taking the water of our depth and exalting the water, right? Releasing the ghosts and exalting that water so we can turn it into the water of Shekhinah, of the Holy Spirit, the divine feminine presence, water into wine. So thank you for your presence. Thank you for this co-creation. Thank you for being in community with me. I hope you enjoy this Desert Rose guidance message for this week. And I am sending all of you so much love. And if you have any questions, any reflections, any thoughts, please write them below, as I do love to read you and I do love to answer you.